Hey Capricorn. So, welcome to Opal Oracle if you're new. If you're returning, hi. I actually recorded you first, and then it disappeared somehow. And now you're being recorded last. Same time frame. So you're first, then you're last. What happens when you become last? Well, then you get closer to first. I guess it is the Eight of Cups in reverse. But I don't read these cards in the reverse. Not usually. There's a lot of crows around right now. It's your bird. What you need. Magician. What's helping you? Justice. What's hindering? Five of Cups. And what is helping, or what you're learning about. You ended up with the Five of Wands in the reverse. The lesson is about this in the reverse, though. But we have to leave it upright because you got to know what the situation is, what's conflictual to know how to solve it, right? You can't just say, oh, I want to solve it and then not do anything. You have to actually do something to communicate accordingly to people, to yourself, to untangle this, right? Let's choose one. The overall arching energy for this time, the Emperor. Cool. And Six of Swords on the bottom. Just listen to your bird for a second. I chose a card for everyone during this time frame in relation to the Venus retrograde. You received the Four of Discs, Four of Pentacles. This is a little bit different. This star here is Polaris. This card in the Mary L Tarot speaks more of an infinite path, right? You don't know what's around the corner per se. You know that there's a path. You're on the path. Here are your mountains. You like those, right? You're not quite at the very top, obviously, right? Still more to go. But it's about determination and it's about trust with this star also, okay? Just a second. That full moon, the end of October 25th, very helpful for your healing. Very helpful in whatever it is that you feel like is happening in your life that is extremely life-changing, right? The really big stuff. Because sometimes we can just close out little things, you know, it all depends on how we want to think about it. It's technically in your position of what you need, this Magician. So you need more confidence in something. I heard that everything will work out. What's helping you is this Justice card. This is technically Libra's card, but it's about fairness. It's about things being just. It's about... It can be about contracts, too. I see more than anything, this is an emotional contract. I see that this emotional contract and whatever it is that you've been emotionally connected to, it makes sense that this is an 8 because it is something that you've come back around to many times. This isn't, whatever this big change is, isn't something that's like, oh, it was this, and then it hasn't been like this for a really long time. It's like, no, it comes back around. Maybe yearly, maybe bi-yearly, maybe once a week, whatever it is. Something a little frustrating or frictional about it, right? Something that definitely, because this is what hinders you, that concerns me a little bit, because if this, it's like, you, I heard you know what your weakness is, but because you're such a strong sign, when you get into your weakness and you're ruled by Saturn, it just, I heard it crushes you. And instead of, because you're that strong sign, sometimes you'll let it crush you when no one else, I heard no one else is around. Like, in an internal way, even if you're around other people, it's like, I heard they don't know what's going on in there, truly. Like, maybe some people about the deeper depths of it, but if you don't go within and let it crush you, what you feel like the choice is that for you to come out and maybe be really big about it. Like, maybe get mad instead of being sad. Right? Because mad and sad are the same, in a way, are the same emotion. They mirror one another. You know, usually, okay, we were just talking, right? Out loud about things and what makes you mad and what makes you sad and rah. And then I just took a second to, like, look up and focus on something outside of me. Particularly a thing that I'm looking at, a tree, right? A tree is so patient. It just exudes patience. Never gets to go anywhere. Never gets to say anything, really, unless the wind's there to help it talk. You know, wind helps Earth communicate. So I see for some of you, your air friends, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, could be helpful to communicate with, or people that have that, I heard you know the people that it's easy for you to talk to, but also those folks that sort of settle your mind. Because I feel like, in a way, you feel up against something, but you also know that whatever's happening is supposed to happen to teach you more about your own empowerment. So that you don't worry about time so much, I heard. You're sick of the surface, right? You don't want to be on the surface. For a lot of you, I sense that you want your friendships to be deeper, right? Like, you don't want it to be where you're on the top of the mountain, like, looking down on everyone, right? But where there's more of a, like, the other person is on top of the mountain, or you climb down the mountain and you're on by the ocean. You know, whatever it is, like, you're on a level playing field with other people, but it's with people who you know will climb that mountain with you if you need them to or want them to, and they want to also, and that you're willing to climb down the mountain to go where they want to go. You know what I mean? Like, there's effort that's put in, and I use that analogy a lot, you know, when we're talking about friends and people that are connected to us. That Kim Kranz really solidified that for me, the Three of Pentacles in her deck, the Wild Unknown. It's like, you know, who would help you climb this mountain? Of course, you can climb it by yourself. You're the goat. We talk about this all the time. Well, you're the goat fish, which is actually interesting that we go, I said, from the mountain down to the sea. Because you actually, besides what's in your love, Venus transit is a pentacle, but everything, we have more cups than anything. I think you also you can see the potential in people also. And because you're cardinal, I think sometimes you want to try to help people get up the mountain. But we talked about this in the full month in October. It's like the crab isn't going to climb the mountain, right? Like you could put a crab on your back, I guess, but then what's it worth it to the crab? It's not. It's, or whatever, whomever it is. It's, you know, by the sign that you are, wherever that is in your chart, that hard work is what is necessary to be able to achieve the goal, and feeling really empowered by achieving that goal, because you know that you deserved it, because you started from scratch and you went all the way up to this position that you're at now. Right? That's important to you. But I heard that, because I saw you in the middle of the mountain, it's okay to stop and take a breather and kind of look around, you know, instead of just like the goal. It takes away the fun out of it, because yes, Saturn, right, we want these lessons to almost be difficult. It's what, again, I heard is worth it to you. But I heard maybe you forgot your pocket watch. Like, what's that? That's time, right? So I guess this goes back to the original message when I saw you in the middle, was something about giving yourself credit for how far you've climbed already, right? Because this is a big mountain, I can tell. And I feel like you've been sort of going up and down the same mountain. But you can go on any mountain you want. Again, you can go down to the shore, you can go to the forest, wherever you want. But this one particular mountain is old. And I see that if you truly want that to be, well, I actually heard whether you want it to be or not, time's up, right? Like, maybe that goes back to the pocket watch. And when I saw you pull it out with your hoof and look at it, the glass was all broken. And you couldn't even, and it had stopped working because you have to stop and wind it, right? It doesn't just go on its own. It works in a gear mechanism. So I guess there's something in there about paying attention to time and not paying attention to time, if that makes sense. Like not trying to rush time. And there's something else about like the amount of time you spend, how much time has been spent going up and down this mountain, I guess is what I heard. I see you make it to the water though, right? I see for a lot of you, and you've always been a huge supporter of Opal Oracle, and thank you. I connect with a lot of Capricorns through this channel, and I guess that's part of it. And maybe I was thinking about that the other day, so I feel like most of you watch other tarot readers. It's interesting, maybe there's so many because there's each, I mean, of course we could, a lot of folks say this similar messages, but in their own ways, I guess. But you know, depending on maybe the reader's chart will help connect to certain folks that have something similar, right? And of course, if we're talking about hundreds of thousands of people, well then I guess there's a reason why multiple people need to do different kinds of things. And I heard not being so concerned about what the different kinds of things are for other folks, but focusing on where you're going and having faith in that. Right? There's no electricity here. There's no internet here. There's no, you know what I mean? It's just nature and you. You and your environment. I want to see what you can do about this magician. All right. Interesting. Well, I was wondering, this magician again is what you need. This is what blocks you from receiving what you need. And it's something, this is old too. This is part of the mountain. This is earth, right? You have 3 5s on the board also. So it has something to do with the heart, you know. Something at the age of 6 and something at the age of 15 also. And for a lot of you when you're 21, those are ages to kind of think about, because I think that there's something similar about those 3 mountain ranges. Yeah, like 15, 16. You should come up with 3 things you want to change. You should think about the 3 major things that are changing right now in your life that affect you overall, that you are conscious of, right? That you know that those things used to define, I am blank. Because of this, I am blank. Because of that, I am blank. Because of this. They could all be because of whatever thing, singularly, but it's where now, once you change those things, your I am changes in a completely different way. Because your heart is no longer attached to that. When our heart's still attached to something, it doesn't matter if we change something in the physical world, because that emotional place is still the same, right? It's just a little bird. I've read everyone else a book. I don't know if I have one. Let me see. I don't know how to open this actually. Let me try to find your animal, I guess. Hold on. Oh, I saw a little snail. Hey, no thank you. Snails are about going slow. They're about patience. Hold on. Hey, get over here right now. Come on. Get over here right now. Come on. Good guard dogs. Telling me there's a squirrel. It's funny, right? They're so silent. I think that's why dog and God can get turned around in their words, because the letters, because they're both quiet, you know. When they actually say something that's really big, we usually shut it down, right? You're like, I can handle it, God. But when it really comes down to it, we're pretty grateful for that, for those Well, for that being, right? For that being in our lives. I guess that's important to keep connected to also. Right, Sumi? Come here. Right? Right. Right. See you later. Okay. Well, that's that. Enjoy October. I hope this was of service. Thank you so much for anyone who's been here and been supporting, right? Zumi says thank you too. Right? And Issa too. Okay. Oh my gosh. And crows too. They say thank you. Alright. Talk to you later, Gator.